Hello friends, it's Miss Natalie here, and I have another drawing video for you. Today we are going to create a sketch for a landscape that includes all three planes of a landscape: the foreground, the middle ground, and the background. And I'm going to be using this particular reference image. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. Oop, get a little closer. And this is the reference image that is in the Impressionist / Post-Impressionist drawing assignment. So if that's what you're doing, then this may be the image you're working with. Okay, so I'm going to start with the foreground. I'm going to put my image here, and I'm going to be drawing a little darker than I would normally because I want you to be able to see my lines, and my lines are just kind of go here and there, and just kind of get a sense of where this shrub is, and then we've got this kind of group of flowers coming in. I'm not going to go too much into the individual lines of things because it's not about details right now. It's just about getting kind of shapes of where things are. Okay, and then there's a shrub there, and that's pretty much my foreground as I see it in this particular. And I'm taking a little artistic license because it's Impressionist / Post-Impressionist, and so it doesn't have to be 100% realistic. So I've got that for my foreground. Now I'm going to work on my middle ground, and I've got this line of the water that kind of comes behind the foreground and curves maybe a little bit around there. And that's a little high, actually. Probably comes a little bit farther down. Comes right down to it. Which is why if I was doing this, not for a video, I would be drawing this super, super light so that when I erase, there would be absolutely no lines showing. But I want you to be able to see this, and it looks really light to you. All right, so that's there. Okay, and then the trees that are also in the middle ground. There's some over here, and that kind of dips down in the middle, and then it goes up the hill, pretty far up. That dip might be a little low. All right, and so those are the trees, and even before the trees, there are some like shrubs and grasses over here. And this, I probably made that a little too regular. I can make it more irregular later. All right, so then the trees and that kind of peters out over there. So I've got my, I've got my foreground and my middle ground and a lot of erasing, but that's okay. Again, if I was doing this not for a video, I would be doing it so very light you could barely see the lines, just enough so I know where things are going to be. And then finally, my background, which is the mountain, which is not as large as one would think. And it goes here, and it looks actually like there's, you know what, looks like there's some parts of the hills that go like over here. And then we have our Mount Hood that goes down there. And then a whole lot of sky, which will be beautiful. And I don't need to put any sketching in for the sky because that will all be done with color and with lines of whatever color media I choose. So here's my sketch. I've got my foreground, I've got my middle ground, I've got my background, and I am ready to add my color media. Now you go make some art.